My name is Janet Lemaster. I'm 35 years old, and I've been married to Michael for 7 years, and I'm an administrative assistant for his business.
My name is Michael Lemaster. I'm 42 years old, and I've been selling Cutco cutlery for almost 19 years.
We have 3 kids. We have a teenager, a toddler, and an infant. My pregnancy was actually pretty normal. I didn't know anything was wrong until the day that I started to experience leakage and the mucus on my toilet paper. I was 26 weeks and 5 days. So I gave them a call just to make sure. The nurse on the hotline asked me a few questions, and I told her I experienced that, and I also told her, I don't know if I felt her move since 3 o'clock in the morning. After we hung up the phone, shortly after, the nurse called me back and said, your OBGYN wants you to go to labor and delivery just to make sure everything's okay.
We got there, and things changed, and he said, you gotta stay here until you have the baby, which could have been potentially 3 more months. So it was a little nerve-wracking at that point.
After a few days in the hospital, everything looked like it was gonna be fine and that they were gonna be able to keep me pregnant longer. I started to feel contractions, and I called the nurse in, and at that point, it was go time. They're like, okay, you're gonna have an emergency C-section, it's time, she's coming. I felt panicked, scared, didn't know what to expect, and I was really hoping everything was gonna be okay. A few people were able to get me onto the operating table, but at that point, OBGYN checked again. He told me, okay, she's coming. We're not gonna be able to do the C-section. And so it felt like everything was less than a minute, and I pushed one time and she was out.
I think if you look at infants that are preterm, the first 5 to 10 minutes of life can be what is going to determine whether that infant has a very good outcome or a very questionable outcome. For Ari, and the first 5 to 10 minutes of life, the team worked together very cohesively to get the job done and make sure that she had a good chance for the rest of her life.
I heard her cry. I saw her fists up. That gave me peace to know that she was okay and that she was here and her heart was still beating and she was still alive. And that was like the most precious experience ever, just to hear her cry was like, I can't even put it into words. In those 78 days, the nurses at the NICU were constantly reassuring me that everything was okay, and they just had to constantly reassure me of that. No matter how many days I was in there, if they noticed that I was nervous or feeling a certain way, they were always really quick to be there in the moment. It wasn't strictly just about the symptoms and what I was experiencing. Yes, it was about that too, but they checked on me, which was very different, something I'd never experienced. Many over 30 years of seeing physicians. I'm just grateful that someone took a moment to care.
NICU nursing is something that starts from the day a baby's born. You're helping a family when their baby is maybe born prematurely or is sick. That's a big thing in a family's life. We know we can talk to them and reassure them. We're in it with them. We want to help. We want to take care of their baby, but we also want to take care of them. And that's something I never take for granted.
The days that I was confident, they're like, okay, awesome. And the days that I felt nervous, they would just reassure me, but they were always really happy to see me, which was really cool. And you don't expect to experience that, but I did feel like almost like a little family kind of thing. Like after a while of being there, you kind of get to know some of the nurses, and they're just a part of your life and part of your story.
We started off with a very small infant, just a little less than 2 pounds, who had some significant respiratory issues, and to watch a family bond with their infant, with Ari, and the smiles and getting connected with mom and dad, and seeing them go home as a unit, a family unit, that's very, very pleasing, very, very, just the best feeling that I can tell you.
St. Jude's going to really take care of you. You don't have to really worry about anything when you're there. The nurses and the doctors already know what to do around you, and that you can experience your experience without all the extra stuff, but you're allowed to walk into your own experience authentically with a lot of support and love.